5. Travel risks after 70 that every senior must avoid. Have you ever dreamed of the perfect vacation after retirement? No deadlines, no work stress, no obligations, just the freedom to explore new places at your own pace. Maybe it's a long-awaited journey through Europe, strolling down charming cobblestone streets, savoring a warm cup of coffee in the crisp Parisian air. Or perhaps it's a tropical getaway where you recline on a lounge chair, listening to the soothing rhythm of ocean waves while basking in the golden sun. Traveling in your golden years is truly a dream worth chasing. It brings joy, excitement, and unforgettable memories. But have you ever considered what could go wrong? What if your dream vacation suddenly turns into a stressful, even dangerous experience? What if you wake up in a foreign country feeling a sharp pain in your chest, only to find that the nearest hospital doesn't accept your insurance? What if one misstep on a slippery stone path sends you to the emergency room instead of your next sightseeing destination? What if you unknowingly fall into the trap of a travel scam and lose the hard-earned money you saved for this special trip? The truth is, traveling after 70 isn't as simple as it once was. Your health changes, your ability to adapt to new environments shifts, and there are risks that many people never consider until they're faced with them firsthand. But that doesn't mean you have to give up on your travel dreams. With the right knowledge, proper preparation, and a few essential precautions, you can still explore the world with confidence and peace of mind. In today's video, we'll uncover the 5 biggest travel risks for seniors over 70 and how to avoid them. Stay with us until the end, because the last risk is something most people overlook, but it could save you thousands of dollars and countless headaches. After envisioning your dream retirement trip, have you ever wondered what would happen if things didn't go as planned? What if an unexpected emergency struck while you were in a foreign country, far from home, with no familiar faces around? You might think you've prepared well, but there are risks that many travelers never anticipate until they're forced to confront them. One of the biggest dangers? Health emergencies. At 70 and beyond, even if you feel strong and active, your body can react in ways you don't expect. A long flight, excessive walking, a sudden change in climate, or unfamiliar food, all of these factors can trigger underlying health issues. But what's even more alarming? Getting sick or injured while traveling can have far more serious consequences than it would at home. Let's take a look at John's story. John, 74, is a health-conscious man. He walks at least 5,000 steps a day, follows a balanced diet, and takes excellent care of his well-being. After retiring, he and his wife decided to fulfill a lifelong dream, a trip to Japan during cherry blossom season. It was a journey they had been looking forward to for years, a chance to relax and embrace their golden years in the most beautiful way. The first few days were magical. They strolled through Ueno Park, marveling at the breathtaking cherry blossoms, capturing picture-perfect moments. But on the third day, after a long morning walk from Asakusa's historic streets to the Imperial Palace, John started feeling unusually fatigued, a slight discomfort in his chest, a dull ache that he brushed off as exhaustion. By the time they returned to the hotel, that discomfort had turned into a tight, pressing pain in his chest. His breathing became shallow and cold sweat dripped down his forehead. His wife panicked and rushed to the front desk for help. Hotel staff immediately called an ambulance, and within minutes, John was taken to the nearest hospital. But the moment he tried to check in, he was hit with a shocking realization. His health insurance didn't cover international medical care. The hospital required full payment up front before proceeding with treatment. The number on the bill? Staggering. After a series of tests, doctors diagnosed John with signs of a mild heart attack. They strongly advised him to stay under observation for at least 48 hours. And if his condition worsened, he would need a medical evacuation flight back to the U.S. John had no other choice. After 2 days of treatment, his condition had stabilized, but doctors still urged him to return to the U.S. as soon as possible for further monitoring. What was supposed to be a romantic getaway with his wife ended abruptly, replaced by stress, uncertainty, and a hospital bill of over $15,000. And that wasn't all. On top of the medical expenses, John had to pay a hefty sum to reschedule his flight home earlier than planned. This isn't an isolated incident. Every year, countless senior travelers find themselves in similar situations: unexpected health crises, unplanned hospital visits, and medical bills they never saw coming. So, how can you avoid this nightmare scenario? How to protect yourself before traveling? Schedule a full health checkup. Don't assume you're fine just because you feel okay. Visit your doctor, get necessary screenings, monitor your blood pressure and heart health, and assess any underlying conditions. Make sure you're fit for long flights or destinations with drastically different climates. Pack essential medications. If you take medication for blood pressure, Heart conditions, diabetes, or any other chronic illness bring more than you think you'll need. Unexpected delays or itinerary changes can happen, so it's wise to carry extra. Don't forget to bring a doctor's prescription in case you need a refill abroad. Most importantly, invest in travel insurance. Many people overlook this, only to regret it when an emergency strikes. A comprehensive international travel insurance policy can cover medical expenses, emergency evacuations, and even the cost of returning home if needed. Spending a few $100s up front could save you tens of thousands in the long run. Have you ever checked whether your health insurance covers international travel? Were you aware that many policies don't? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience could help others avoid costly mistakes. Health emergencies are among the biggest risks for senior travelers, but they're not the only ones. There's another hidden danger that few people think about, yet it can derail your entire trip in an instant. Let's dive into the next crucial travel risk you need to know. Imagine this. You're strolling through a bustling night market, the air filled with the intoxicating aroma of sizzling street food. The sights, the sounds, the sheer energy of the place, everything is irresistible. Feeling adventurous, you decide to try something new, something that promises to be an unforgettable culinary experience. At first, everything seems fine, but just a few hours later, a sharp pain twists in your stomach. Your body feels weak. Every step becomes a struggle. At this point, your trip is no longer about indulging in local delicacies. It has become a battle with your digestive system. If you're not careful, your dream vacation could quickly turn into a hospital stay instead of a journey filled with beautiful memories. Linda's story, a hard lesson on food safety. While traveling, Linda, 72, was a self-proclaimed foodie. She had always dreamed of traveling the world, experiencing different cultures through their cuisines. After retiring, she finally had the chance to embark on a 3-week adventure across Southeast Asia, a region famous for its vibrant and diverse street food. When she arrived in Thailand, her excitement was through the roof. The streets of Bangkok were lined with food stalls offering sizzling pad thai, fragrant skewers, and fresh coconut water. She eagerly sampled everything, savoring each unique flavor. For the first few days, everything was perfect. She enjoyed seafood feasts by the beach, tried exotic fruits, and immersed herself in the local food culture. But on day 5, everything took a turn for the worse. That evening, she ordered a spicy mango salad from a popular night market. It was refreshing, tangy, and full of flavor. However, just a few hours later, Linda started feeling uncomfortable. At first, it was just bloating. But as the night progressed, the discomfort escalated into sharp stomach cramps, dizziness, and cold sweats. By midnight, she was vomiting uncontrollably and running to the bathroom every few minutes. Her friends quickly hailed a taxi and rushed her to the nearest hospital. By the time she arrived, she was severely dehydrated and barely able to stand. After running tests, the doctors confirmed that she had contracted a severe bacterial infection from contaminated food. The culprit? The seafood in her salad had not been properly prepared. While locals had built immunity to the bacteria, Linda's system was completely unprepared for it. A simple meal had turned into a medical emergency. Linda had to spend an entire day in the hospital receiving IV fluids and treatment, but what she regretted most wasn't the expensive medical bill, costing more than her round-trip airfare. It was the fact that her dream vacation was completely ruined. She no longer had the strength to continue exploring. Instead of creating beautiful memories, she spent the rest of her trip confined to her hotel room, just waiting for the day she could finally go home. And sadly, Linda's story is not unique. Every year, thousands of senior travelers suffer from foodborne illnesses while visiting foreign countries, particularly in places where hygiene standards and food preparation practices differ from what they're accustomed to. For younger travelers, a mild case of food poisoning might pass in a few hours, but for older adults, whose digestive and immune systems aren't as strong as they once were, food poisoning can lead to severe dehydration, prolonged illness, or even life-threatening complications. How to protect yourself from foodborne illness while traveling. Stick to bottled or purified water. Avoid drinking tap water, even for brushing your teeth. In many countries, locals may be immune to bacteria in the water, but that doesn't mean it's safe for visitors. A single sip of contaminated water can send you straight to the hospital. Be cautious with street food. Not all street food is unsafe, but choose wisely. Look for busy food stalls where you can see food being cooked fresh and ensure that it is served piping hot. Avoid raw or undercooked seafood as it poses one of the biggest risks for foodborne illnesses. Bring essential medications. Always carry anti-diarrheal medicine, digestive enzymes, and probiotics to support your gut health. If you start feeling unwell, act fast. Treating symptoms early can prevent a minor issue from turning into a major health crisis. Have you ever gotten sick while traveling? Do you have tips for staying healthy while trying new foods abroad? Share your experience in the comments. Your advice could help other travelers avoid the same mistakes. Getting sick while traveling is something no one wants to experience, especially after 70, when the immune system isn't as strong as it used to be. A single unsafe meal or a sip of contaminated water can send you straight to a hospital bed, turning your dream vacation into a nightmare. But food and water aren't the only things that can drain your energy. Sometimes it's the packed itinerary, the long flights, and the constant movement that take the biggest toll on your body. At 70, your body doesn't recover as quickly as it once did. A single restless night, an exhausting day of sightseeing, or too much walking can leave you completely drained. And instead of enjoying your trip, you might find yourself spending most of it in bed, or worse, having to cut it short because your body simply can't keep up. A harsh reality when travel fatigue takes over. Imagine this. You just finished a 10-hour flight. Your legs are stiff, your back aches, and you're running on barely any sleep. You step off the plane, excited to explore a new country, but instead of giving yourself time to rest, your itinerary is packed from day one, sightseeing from morning until night, walking for miles, jumping from one landmark to the next. By the time you get back to your hotel, your feet are throbbing, your head is spinning, and every muscle in your body begs for rest. You tell yourself, it's just the jet lag. A good night's sleep will fix it. But the next morning, the exhaustion is even worse. This is exactly what happened to Richard, a 75-year-old retiree who had always dreamed of traveling through Europe with his wife. They planned a 2-week adventure through Rome, Paris, and Barcelona, determined to make the most of every moment. With the mindset of, we traveled this far, we have to see it all. They crammed their itinerary with at least 3 or 4 major attractions per day. But by the second day, Richard started feeling worn out. The constant walking, changing time zones, and different climates quickly caught up with him. The mornings that should have been filled with excitement turned into a battle against exhaustion. He had to take frequent breaks, sometimes feeling dizzy after standing for too long. By day 5, his body couldn't take it anymore. A blinding headache, shaky legs, and a sudden drop in blood pressure forced him to cancel the rest of the day's plans. What was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime became a struggle just to get through each day. This isn't an isolated case. When we were younger, a good night's sleep was enough to recover from a long day. But after 70, the body takes longer to adjust and bounce back. Long flights can disrupt your sleep cycle, causing insomnia, dehydration, and prolonged exhaustion. Too much walking and constant movement can lead to muscle pain, joint stiffness, and worsen conditions like arthritis or sciatica. If you're not careful, your dream vacation can turn into days of fatigue, draining the joy out of your experience. How to prevent travel fatigue. After 70-1, plan a realistic itinerary. Avoid the temptation to cram too many activities into one day. Leave room for breaks between sightseeing, and instead of rushing to see an entire city in a day, spread out your plans. Savor the experience rather than racing through it. 2. Listen to your body. If you start feeling tired, don't force yourself to keep going just because you don't want to miss anything. Sometimes a quiet afternoon with a cup of coffee, soaking in the atmosphere, can be just as rewarding as visiting another tourist spot. 3. Stay hydrated and eat well. Many travelers feel exhausted not just from walking too much, but from dehydration. This is especially true in hot or dry climates. Always carry a bottle of water and remind yourself to drink throughout the day. Also, don't skip meals just because you're busy. Proper nutrition is key to keeping your energy levels up. 4. Prioritize sleep. It sounds simple, but many travelers overlook sleep because they're too excited about the day's activities. A good night's sleep helps your body recover and prevents exhaustion from building up. If you're flying across time zones, give yourself a day or two to adjust before diving into intense sightseeing. What about you? Have you ever felt completely exhausted during a trip? Comment 3 below. If you have ever been in this situation, what are your best tips for staying healthy while traveling? Share your experience in the comments. Your advice might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Travel fatigue can certainly impact a trip, but there's an even greater danger that can strike at any moment. Falls and injuries. For seniors over 70, a single misstep can lead to severe consequences, potentially ending their ability to walk independently. Have you ever thought about how one small fall could ruin your entire trip? For younger travelers, tripping over something might just mean a minor bruise. They simply dust themselves off and keep going. But after 70, even a slight loss of balance can result in a fractured hip, a dislocated joint, or worse. months of immobility, and painful recovery. The scariest part? This risk lurks everywhere. On a hotel staircase, a charming cobblestone street, or even at the airport while rushing to catch a flight. Margaret's dream trip that turned into a nightmare. Let's take the story of Margaret, 76, a lively woman who loved traveling. She spent over 3 months planning her dream vacation to Italy, where she longed to stroll through historic streets, admire picturesque piazzas, and savor authentic Italian cuisine. When she finally arrived in Florence, she was captivated by its beauty. The ancient buildings, the charming cobblestone roads, and the romantic atmosphere at every corner. But in an instant, everything changed. One afternoon, Margaret joined a group of tourists exploring a narrow alley in the old town. As she stepped down a small stone stairway, she didn't notice that the ground below was slightly uneven and slippery from the rain the night before. In the blink of an eye, her foot slipped, her balance was lost, and she fell hard to the ground. A sharp pain shot through her left hip. She tried to get up, but she couldn't. Panic spread through the group. Someone called emergency services, and within minutes, Margaret was rushed to a local hospital. The diagnosis? A fractured hip. For a senior, this wasn't just a painful injury. It was life-altering. The doctor strongly recommended immediate surgery, but there was another problem: the cost. On top of that, Margaret would be unable to walk on her own for months. Ultimately, she had no choice but to pay a fortune for a medical evacuation flight back home, accompanied by a team of healthcare professionals. Her dream vacation had turned into a horrific ordeal, one that she never wanted to relive. Margaret's story is not unique. Statistics show that falls are the leading cause of serious injuries among senior travelers. Uneven cobblestone streets, staircases without handrails, slippery surfaces, or simply fatigue from a long day of exploring can all contribute to a loss of balance. And unlike in younger years, recovery from a fall is much more challenging for older adults. A simple fracture may take months to heal, and a severe fall could result in permanent mobility loss. How to prevent this risk? Choose proper footwear. When traveling, especially in areas with uneven terrain, always wear comfortable, slip-resistant shoes with good support. Avoid high heels or flip-flops, as they increase the risk of slipping. If you have balance concerns, consider bringing a foldable cane for extra stability. Watch your step. If you're walking on cobblestone streets, steep staircases, or crowded areas, take it slow and stay aware of your surroundings. Avoid rushing or looking at your phone while walking. It only takes a split second of distraction to cause an accident. Listen to your body. If you feel tired, don't push yourself. Fatigue affects balance and coordination, making you more vulnerable to falls. Take breaks when needed and opt for transportation options instead of excessive walking. Get travel insurance. Make sure your travel insurance covers injuries and medical evacuations. Many people assume they won't need it, but when an accident happens, it can save you tens of thousands of dollars in medical expenses and emergency transport. Have you ever experienced a fall while traveling? Do you have any tips for staying safe on unfamiliar terrain? Share your experiences in the comments. Your advice might help someone avoid a dangerous situation. Have you ever tripped while traveling? Sometimes all it takes is a single extra floor, a slippery pavement, or a shiny floor to throw you off balance. A fall can make your return trip difficult or even require a hospital stay far from home. But there's a more frightening kind of fall, falling into an elaborate financial trap set by a crook that can rob you of not only your money, but also your peace of mind. Every year, thousands of senior travelers fall victim to clever travel scams. The worst part? Most people don't even realize they've been deceived until it's too late. It's only when they check their bank account, look at an inflated restaurant bill, or overhear locals discussing real prices that they realize they've been conned. A trip meant to create beautiful memories suddenly turns into a bitter lesson in trust. Scammers come in many forms. Some offer too good to be true hotel deals that turn out to be fake. Others are taxi drivers who charge 10 times the normal fare. Then there are the ones who hand you a receipt filled with mysterious extra charges, and since you have no alternative, you're forced to pay. No matter the method, the goal is the same: to trap you in a situation where you have no choice but to hand over your money. That's exactly what happened to Peter, a 72-year-old retiree with a passion for travel. He spent months planning a perfect getaway to a tropical island, a well-deserved escape where he could finally unwind and enjoy the golden years of retirement. While searching online, he stumbled upon a luxury beachfront hotel at an unbelievably low price, half of what other websites were offering. Thinking he had found a once-in-a-lifetime deal, he immediately booked it. But when Peter arrived, there was no hotel. The address led him to an empty lot. No sign, no reception desk, not even a building. He dialed the number listed on the confirmation email, but all he got was the cold, endless ringing of a disconnected line. Reality hit hard. He had been scammed. With nowhere to stay, Peter had to book another hotel at the last minute. Since it was peak season, the only available room was double the price of his original booking. Adding insult to injury, his original payment was gone forever. A hard-earned retirement fund wasted on a scammer's trick. Unfortunately, his troubles didn't end there. While withdrawing cash from an ATM near his new hotel, Peter fell victim to another common scam: skimming. Unbeknownst to him, a hidden device had been installed on the ATM, stealing his card details in seconds. Within 24 hours, thousands of dollars vanished from his account. By the time he realized it and called his bank, the damage was already done. Peter had no idea that the ATM he used was rigged with a skimming device. It looked like any other ATM. Nothing seemed suspicious. But within 24 hours, his bank account was flooded with unauthorized transactions totaling thousands of dollars. By the time he noticed and contacted his bank, it was too late. The scammers had already emptied his credit card. Sadly, Peter's case is not unusual. Every year, tens of thousands of travelers, especially seniors, fall victim to sophisticated scams. Scammers exploit trust, lack of awareness, and unfamiliarity with technology to pull off financial frauds that leave their victims devastated. How to protect yourself from these scams: book hotels and travel services only through reputable websites. If a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Always check reviews, verify cancellation policies, and contact the hotel directly before booking. Avoid withdrawing cash from unfamiliar ATMs. Use ATMs inside banks or in well-secured areas. Avoid standalone machines in remote locations. When possible, use a credit card instead of a debit card, as credit cards offer better fraud protection. Beware of overly helpful strangers. Some scammers pose as airport staff, taxi drivers, or tour guides to approach senior travelers. They may offer to help with luggage, only to demand an outrageous tip or, worse, steal from you while you're distracted. Carry minimal cash and split it into multiple locations. Avoid keeping all your money in one wallet or purse. If possible, use an RFID blocking wallet to protect your credit card from wireless data theft. Get travel insurance that covers financial fraud. Some travel insurance policies offer reimbursement for stolen funds in case of scams or financial emergencies abroad. Have you been a victim of a travel scam? If you've ever experienced a travel scam, ATM fraud, or financial loss while abroad, share your story in the comments. Your experience could help prevent others from making the same mistake. Falling victim to a travel scam is one of the worst experiences a traveler can face. It's not just about the financial loss. It's about losing trust, security, and the joy of your journey. But does that mean seniors over 70 should stop traveling altogether? Absolutely not. The truth is, travel can still be a wonderful and fulfilling experience if you prepare wisely. Throughout this video, we've uncovered 5 major risks that older travelers face: unexpected health emergencies, infections, exhaustion from packed itineraries, falls and injuries, and financial scams. Any of these could turn a dream vacation into a stressful ordeal. But does that mean we should give up on travel? No, absolutely not. Traveling in your golden years is not a luxury. It's your right. For decades, you worked hard, raised families, and took care of responsibilities. Now it's your time to explore, to experience, to truly enjoy life on your own terms. This is not the time for hesitation, fear, or regret. This is the time to breathe in the air of new places, listen to stories from different cultures, and see the world through a lens of wisdom and appreciation. But travel smart, enjoy, but don't be reckless, because in the end, it's not just about how many places you visit, but about the memories you create, the moments you share, and the joy that remains, free from preventable mishaps. You may not be 20 anymore, but that doesn't mean you can't live life just as fully. Age is not a barrier. Complacency is what can make you miss the chance to fully enjoy life. Your age doesn't limit you, but being unprepared might. The key to a fulfilling travel experience is smart planning, knowing your limits, and protecting both your health and finances. That way, when you step foot into a new destination, you can savor every moment, without fear, without regrets. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like to support Golden Wise Elders in bringing you more valuable content. Have you had a memorable travel experience? Do you have advice for fellow seniors? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your wisdom could be exactly what someone else needs. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Golden Wise Elders today. This is more than just a YouTube channel. It's a community where we inspire each other to live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives. So keep traveling, keep exploring, but do it safely and wisely. See you in the next video from Golden Wise Elders.